Dear Patriots, before the news starts, please subscribe to our patriotic channel by clicking the subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up to this video. Don't forget to leave your opinion below in the comments section. Share the news on Facebook and Twitter so you friends see it. Thank you.
McMaster firing upends plan to oust other top Trump officials. President Donald Trump's decision to abruptly fire National Security Advisor H.R. McMaster surprised senior White House aides who had been preparing a single statement announcing the departure of multiple top Trump officials, according to two senior administration officials. White House Chief of Staff John Kelly and other top aides were waiting for Inspector General reports that they believed would deliver devastating verdicts on Veteran Affairs Secretary David Shulkin and Housing and Urban Development Secretary Ben Carson, who have both been accused of racking up extravagant expenses. They were also debating whether several senior White House aides, including McMaster, should go with them. It's unclear which other West Wing officials were possibly set to depart with McMaster, but the two senior administration officials said they believed it would be easier to manage the optics if multiple firings were made public in a single statement instead of drawn out. The announcement, though, was not expected for at least another week. Trump, however, upended those plans late Thursday, firing McMaster and offering his job to former UN Ambassador John Bolton in a move that surprised not only his top advisors, but also Bolton himself. Though the hawkish conservative has spoken with the president several times in recent weeks, those close to him say he had no indication the president would offer him the job when he went to the White House for a meeting on Thursday. Bolton also was passed over for a top State Department job last year, reportedly because Trump was turned off by his bristly, full mustache. And while McMaster has been the subject of multiple news reports in recent weeks predicting his imminent departure, Trump was said to be slow-walking the final decision, waiting for a strong replacement and appropriate landing spot for McMaster. White House aides, however, said the onslaught of news reports about McMaster's inevitable demise had made it difficult for him to continue in the job. A senior White House official said Thursday evening that Trump made clear earlier in the day that he had made the call to fire McMaster but did not indicate when. Trump upends whatever he wants to upend, a second White House official said. The exact trigger for the timing of the ouster is unclear, but it comes on the heels of another damaging leak involving national security matters. The Washington Post late Tuesday revealed that briefing materials had instructed Trump do not congratulate during his call with newly re-elected Russian President Vladimir Putin, guidance that Trump ignored. The unexpectedly quick personnel change is the latest example of Trump's mercurial nature and his newfound confidence to follow his gut instincts. Earlier this month, Trump pulled the trigger on firing Secretary of State Rex Tillerson after flirting with the decision for months but being advised against the move by some of his senior aides. The ouster of McMaster also throws into disarray the still-forming plans to oust multiple top officials in one swoop. Shulkin has long been viewed negatively by senior West Wing aides because he has repeatedly said he has been given the blessing of the White House to purge insolent VA staffers, even though he's been given no such approval, according to one administration official. Carson, meanwhile, has been seen as largely ineffective at running a large federal agency, but senior administration officials and others close to the White House say Trump aides harbor reservations about ousting him because he is the only black cabinet member. Both have been accused of excessive spending, with Shulkin facing accusations of racking up extravagant travel expenses with his wife during government trips and Carson defending the decision to install a $31,000 dining room set in his office. A representative for Carson did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Shulkin said in a statement, "It would be highly inaccurate to report that I have had extravagant travel expenses, that's simply inaccurate. My wife's ethics, sick, approved coach airfare for an official invite, as was the situation with previous VA secretaries, was the sole government expense, not a single per diem or other expense, and we repaid every penny." Representatives for Shulkin and Carson did not immediately respond to requests for comment. "Several people over there that did not want this to happen before they were ready to do the others," said a separate senior administration official. There was definitely a consensus view in the building that they were going to do all these at once. Though the timing was unexpected, Trump's decision to dismiss McMaster, a three-star Army general who has never meshed with the president personally, was not. McMaster, who replaced Trump's first national security advisor, Michael Flynn, a little over a year ago, is an intensely focused intellectual whose detailed briefings, by all accounts, drove the president crazy. Trump took to mocking him openly in the Oval Office, asking other White House aides why McMaster was so serious. "Everyone knew he'd be out eventually," said a second senior administration official. White House aides expressed mixed feelings about Bolton's impending arrival, which will take place as Trump negotiates a historic summit with North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un and as he weighs a decision, in early May, about whether to scuttle the Iran deal. Trump's decision to bring in Bolton comes after rumors of an administration post for him last year shook many in the Senate and foreign policy establishment. The former ambassador has riled up critics by arguing that the U.S. should bomb Iran to stop its nuclear program, dismissing the idea of a Palestinian state, and taking a proactive stance toward international military conflicts. McMaster's tenure at the White House was an uphill battle virtually from the outset because he butted heads not only with the president, but with Kelly and with Secretary of Defense James Mattis. Both were also agitating for his ouster. McMaster clashed frequently with Mattis and also with Carson on policy matters. Kelly, who, like Mattis, is a retired Marine general, served under Mattis in Iraq, and the two remain close friends, and White House aides say Mattis was able to openly relay his complaints about McMaster to the Chief of Staff. Trump and Kelly both seriously considered firing McMaster in November, when they also came close to dismissing Carson, but held back when the two could not agree on a successor. A White House official said Trump is ultimately drawn to Bolton, in part because he was impressed by his many appearances on Fox News. Larry Kudlow, the economic analyst and CNBC contributor who was recently named as a replacement for former National Economic Council Director Gary Cohn, also appealed to Trump because of his appearances on cable news. Trump has also developed close personal friendships with both men, the latest indication that personality plays a central role in the president's personnel picks. Andrew Ristusa, Matt Nussbaum, author Alan and Lorraine Wohlert contributed to this report. Ex-Playboy model says she kept journal of days she met with Trump. Former Playboy model Karen McDougal says she kept notes on when she met with Donald Trump during what she says was an affair, in addition to details on the relationship. During a wide-ranging interview with CNN that aired on Thursday evening, McDougal shared her journal with the network and talked about how she discreetly kept track of the times she saw Trump. "I either called him T or DT, because if anybody found this I wouldn't want to expose myself or expose him," she said, as CNN displayed photos of her journal and highlighted where McDougal had written Trump's initials. "I purposely kind of chicken scratched a lot on there, because I know what I'm writing." "Did I see him quite a few times?" "Quite a bit," she added. "Absolutely. We spent a lot of time together." McDougal, however, said she never kept any evidence of their relationship besides the journal. "Let me just say this. If you're in a loving relationship, do you try to collect evidence?" she said. "The only thing that I have, really, is my journal that I keep. I wasn't out to get anybody or, gosh, get anyone in trouble, but those are my notes. Those are for me." McDougal says she had a 10-month affair with Trump in 2006 that lasted into 2007, though the White House has also called accounts of any affair untrue. She is currently suing American Media Incorporated, parent company of the National Enquirer, to be released from an agreement about the rights to her story of the relationship. The company is reported to have paid her $150,000 but did not run the story, at the same time requiring her to keep silent. When asked by CNN about speaking out now despite claiming she couldn't share her story, McDougal said there could be a big lawsuit against her. "There could be financial ruin, But that's why I have really good attorneys to make sure that doesn't happen, she said. Do I feel threatened? Absolutely. I feel I had to protect myself. I had to stand up for myself. I almost feel violated in the fact I didn't know what was going on behind the scenes. I'm quite mad at that. I'm angry. I feel taken advantage of, in a sense. I want the right to be made. I want it to be right. American media this week issued a statement to CNN in response to McDougal's lawsuit, saying that she has been free to respond to press inquiries about her relationship with Trump since 2016 and that it had not silenced her. In the interview, McDougal also detailed the first time she met the future president, during filming on an episode of his Celebrity Apprentice reality show at the Playboy Mansion. She said that she was told by another playmate that Trump looked as though he was interested in her and that they began chatting and exchanged numbers. She said she was in contact with Trump and would speak with him on the phone but did not meet with him again until around the time of his birthday, in June. That night, McDougal said, she met with Trump in a bungalow at the Beverly Hills Hotel where they had dinner, talked and were intimate. She also said that Trump tried to hand her money after the interaction. I just had this look, I don't even know how to describe the look on my face. It must have been so sad, because I never have been offered money like that before, McDougal said. She added that she was hurt because she wondered whether Trump thought she was in it for the money. I looked at him and said, that's not me, I'm not that kind of girl. And he looked at me and said, oh, and he said, you're really special, McDougal said. And I was, like, thank you. So I left, and I got into the car, Keith's bodyguard, taking me home, and started crying. I was really sad. It really hurt me, but I went back. I was crying in the back seat of the car like I said. I got home to my apartment and I was crying a lot. I felt terrible about myself, let alone what he felt. Throughout their affair, McDougal said, she would meet up with Trump not only in Los Angeles, but also accompanied him to Lake Tahoe and even met up several times in New York, where she once visited his apartment in Trump Tower. She noted that Melania had her own room, but said she did not want to speculate on whether they had marital issues. McDougal said she eventually ended the relationship after feeling so guilty. She said she was in love with Trump and that he had told her that he loved her, too. I was just feeling so guilty. It was just digging inside me, she said, adding that knowing that Trump was married made it difficult to continue the relationship. Whether they get along or not, it's still a family, McDougal said. I just needed to get out of it. It was tearing me apart. McDougal added that involvement with a married man remains her only regret from their alleged relationship. If he weren't married, I wouldn't have any regrets because he treated me very kind. He was very respectful, as I told you, she said. It was a good relationship while it happened. However, had she known that Trump was seeing other women while they were together, things may have been different. Now, had I known at the time there were supposedly all these other women? No, I wouldn't have been in the relationship, but I didn't know that at the time. So no regrets except for the fact that he was married. As for Melania, McDougal said she would apologize if she could. What can you say except I'm sorry? I'm sorry. I wouldn't want it done to me. I'm sorry. Aubrey Weaver contributed to this story.